boxes, and I actually found like a handful of them, and that's what prompted me to do the video alongside finding my actual PlayStation 3. But I'm currently like in the process of moving and unpacking, packing stuff up to move. So this setup will be different shortly, I'm sure. But I was going through some old boxes and found, oh my gosh, so many PlayStation games. It is ridiculous. I found all of the other PlayStation 3 games that I had that I completely forgotten that I owned, and so today we're going to go through some of them. I've got more, but I'm going to save them for another video because there's quite a lot of them. I guess we'll see how long the video lasts, but I can imagine, it's going to be quite long if I try to do them all. I've basically split them in half. We've got some gum. It is spearmint extra, and we're going to get some chewing and talk about some of these games. I like the minty flavour of the spearmint. So this is the collection we're talking about today. I still haven't found my PlayStation 2 games. I'm sure I still have them somewhere, but I don't know where they are, so hopefully I'll be able to find them at some point. But we're going these PlayStation 3 games today. So first up to talk about, and I've not really put them in any order, I just kind of piled them up. The only order I created are the first two games, and that's because it's Uncharted 2, and you can guess what the next one might be. So Uncharted 2, Honor Among it's just Among Thieves. Oh, Honor Among Thieves must have been the movie. Oh, there you go, I guess that's where they got the name, right? So, this is the first Uncharted game that I ever played. I didn't play the first one, I actually played the second one first, and then eventually went back and played the first one, but this was my first PlayStation Uncharted game. I think there's like zombie Nazis in it or something. I can't really remember the plot too, but I think you're finding like an old ancient city, and that's the whole plot. And it starts off with like a flashback sequence, in the sense that I think the very beginning of the game is you start off crawling up a train that is hanging off the side of a cliff, and when you get to the top you flash back to the beginning of the story and eventually make your way there. This was one of the first, by extension, third person shooters and like heavy story games that I ever played, to my knowledge anyway. And this really kind of began my love for like Naughty Dog and the Uncharted series. So there you go. I've played this quite a few times over the years. It also has like a multiplayer function, I think, yeah, an online one. It's got 10 out of 10. Absolutely essential by PlayStation. Yeah. Of course they would say that though, wouldn't they? And you can play it in HD at 720p. It's crazy, isn't it? So that's what high definition was, and now that's like barely even considered high definition. So as I said, a little bit of an order in the sense of like the first few games, because the first one was Uncharted 2, and the second one is Uncharted 3. I do have the disc in here, it just sounded like I didn't have it. So, Uncharted 3, uniquely cinematic online multiplayer. Okay, I don't remember anything about that. My knowledge of this game is slightly less than 2. I remember like the plane sequence, like you're trying to find the plane and steal your way on there, and then mid-flight everything falls out, and that's like basically the sequence from the movie. Was it's like on the nose, directly taken and put in this. I actually don't remember the story of this one. I think this one is the one where you're in the forest at the end, and like one of the last fights is like a shrine-like area, and you're chased around. I think, if I remember correctly, could be wrong there. But you're searching for the Atlantis of the Sands. Oh yeah, the beginning of this game, you start in like a pub in London or something, I think, and it's the first time that they brought in like proper like fighting mechanics, like fist to fist, I think. Other than like, you know, the melee bash, there was like a fist fighting mechanic that I'm pretty sure was brought into this. But yeah, I played this when it came out as well, and this came out when it's got to be I don't know. I'm going to guess 2011 only because that's when there's a copyright up to the date of. So, I don't know. Doesn't obviously say. Wouldn't that be good if it would just tell you? Yeah, I don't really know, but somewhere in and around that time, I guess, because I would have been in school. Anyway, yeah, another great story game. I love the Uncharted series. Really, really fun games. Great stories. Great third-person shooter. Just overall very good. The next one is a bit of a different angle, and one that I'm not sure I actually finished. I'm not entirely sure. I used to have the what's the word I'm looking for? The demo. Back in the day when downloading demos for games was free. Now you have to have PlayStation Plus Premium, I think, to download demos. But anyway, I had the demo of this, and then I got the game, and I don't think I ever finished it. But that is Homefront. And this game is a first-person shooter, and there was a sequel for it. I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, maybe more than that. That was like hated. That was Homefront Revolution. But yeah, this game is set in, well, still in the future, 2027, I guess. And I think is it Korea? I think. I have a feeling it's Korea that has like attacked America and managed to like occupy it, and you're like resistance fighters, and it's basically a story-driven first-person shooter where you resist Korea having, or I think it's Korea, that have invaded America, and it is, you know, it's fairly fun. It doesn't do anything like super surprising, but the kind of like interesting take on like the FPS setting is kind of cool. I'd love to see like a remaster of it and try it again. I guess I could just play on PlayStation 3, but yeah. So there we go, that's Homefront. Next we're moving on to one of the considered best games of all time. I'm sure there are people that think that, and I would be inclined to agree. Batman Arkham Asylum, the first of the Batman Arkham series, of which there are 3/4 games. And actually, we'll be coming to another one shortly. But yeah, there we go. Batman Arkham Asylum. Chances are you've probably played this game if you're a gamer. In this game you play as Batman, and you have just delivered Joker to Arkham Asylum, and in the game Joker escapes and you've got to not only deal with him, but all the other inmates that have escaped, such as like Killer Croc, Scarecrow, Bane, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, as you can imagine. Yeah, some examples. So yeah, it's basically a kind of like open world in the sense of you can go anywhere in the asylum more or less, as you do like follow the story and maybe do some occasional side stuff, but mostly going through and trying to put everyone back in their cells. A great fighter. It kind of like, I don't know if it's like the first example, I doubt it, but it's basically near enough like designed the fighting genre of today, in terms of like, you know, a light attack, a medium attack, and then like a dodge that or parry that lets you like respond in kind. Those typical like fighting games, the sort of like senses. Obviously, Spider-Man very clearly took inspiration from it, as of many other games. So that's Arkham Asylum, one of my favourite games. I've got the sort of like remastered version, but I haven't played it in a long time. But that's a really good one. It's really like focused in. Do you know what? I might swap to the other one now, just because, well, I'm on the same vein. And the next one I've got to talk about is the sequel, Arkham City. I remember when this was announced and I watched the gameplay trailer over and over again, because it looks so good, and even now it still holds up as being a stunning game. It's a shame that this one's sequel wasn't amazing. Origins, designed by a different studio. Very different kind of game, but still the same, if that makes sense. And then back to the normal studio for Arkham Knight, I believe. In fact, I'm pretty sure even the voice actors weren't brought back for Origins. There's actually a story of where what's his name, Kevin Conroy, or some, I can't remember his voice actor's name, I apologise, who passed last year, very sad, was doing a story time at a convention and talked about how he spoiled Arkham Knight because an interviewer was asking about the next Arkham game and he was talking about like Arkham Knight, and the interviewer was kind of confused, and it turned out that Kevin had never even been told about Arkham Origins and wasn't even brought back for it. I'm pretty sure that is what happened, but it's worth checking out that kind of like interview clip. It's very funny. But this is Arkham City, the second in the series. Very good game. It takes you from Arkham Asylum in that one, the one before, sorry, and brings you to a whole portion of Gotham where they decide to put all the inmates in like a portion of the city, and Batman kind of goes around there, and it kind of opens up the game into more of like a proper open world. The only big criticism I'd seen people have, and that I agree with, is that core parts of the story were cut up and put into a DLC. Whole entire portions of the game are missing and were sold separately as the Catwoman DLC, whom her story contributes and like sets up the story in many ways, and so that is the big criticism. Really, the beginning of games companies taking a game, dropping it up and selling it in parts, but luckily they did away with that. Even just the visual of the case itself, like I find a lot of older games, like you look at it and it kind of feels like it could be an older sort of like last gen or previous gen game, but this cover just looks fucking badass, and it just looks like it could be something, I don't know, contemporary. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, Arkham City, great game. This is why I've cut them in half, because look how far in we are and I've barely got through 4 games. sort of like character models. But Fallout 3 took that, and when we want the game world, and Bethesda made Fallout 3 FPS game RPG. I'm sure you're all aware of what Fallout at this point. But yeah, this was my first experience with the Fallout series. My first experience with Bethesda. Actually, no, I think I played Skyrim before. So my second experience with Bethesda. But yeah, I played Fallout 3, loved it. I just think it's a great game. It takes the FPS genre, mashes it with an RPG, really fun stuff in there, like blowing people up with your, like a perk to like blow people up with your gun, for example. Very, very funny. Fleshed out world. At the time, visually stunning. I'd love to see some of these older games like get a real facelift and remastered, because I think it would be fun to play through something like Fallout 3 again, but like updated. Or I guess they could just make another fucking Fallout game that isn't shit. That would be good. But there we go, Fallout 3. Obviously I don't have Fallout 4 in here because there was Fallout 3 and then it waited a whole generation. So there we go. Do you know what I find funny? Is that Elder Scrolls missed out an entire generation. That's how long it's been between Skyrim and the next game. There's been an entire generation of console that has passed by. There was no new Elder Scrolls game in the PS4 and Xbox One era. When PlayStation 5s and Xbox, I don't even know what the Xbox kind of like thing is. It's just too confusing for me. Just do numbers. PS4, 5, 3, 2, etc. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting fact. Now we've got a few sports games in here. I will kind of touch on them. I don't really play sports games. I never really been interested in them. But first up we've got FIFA 09. Man, I never really played FIFA. I never really liked football. I don't like football still. I'm just not interested in it. I don't care. And so you can imagine I just didn't give a shit about playing it. I actually got this because it wasn't even $4.99. I was in, what shop was it? I don't really remember. There was a shop back in like 2011 or 12 it must have been, and I was going through the shop and they had like a bin, not like a bin, rubbish bin, but like at the entrance, like these games are like basically for free, and I picked this up and a few others for like £1 or so, and that's why I got it, because I thought, it's basically for free. Boy math. So I might as well pick it up, and I did, and I played a little bit of it. I can't really say I'm very good at FIFA. I don't really care to be good at FIFA anyway, so and that's the only FIFA game I ever bought. So there you go. I'm actually going to open this one up because I'm sick, because it feels heavy. That's why there's a whole map in here. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my god, this is awesome. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. I gotta put this up. So, next game is, the label's been ripped off of here for some reason. Like the price. Is Grand Theft Auto 4. So I jumped on the GTA bandwagon very, very late. Always have. Probably always will. Maybe not with 6, but yeah. On the GTA bandwagon, always super late. I played this when everyone had played it. Then 5 came out. I never really got around to doing it. Eventually played it. I don't know, it was okay. I don't really fuck with a lot of, I don't want say I don't fuck with like Rockstar games, but I don't like feel the same way about them that a lot of other people do. Like, I don't look at GTA and go, that's a masterpiece. I look at it and go, okay, like, I get its personal preference and that's fine. But yeah, GTA 4, I did really enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I never finished GTA 5, I don't think. But I did finish GTA 4 all the way to the end. I mean, what can I say about it? They are like exceptionally well made games. I really love like the calling up your friends and like hanging out with them and going and like on dates and stuff like that. It feels like super RPG. I love that element of games, and I'd love to see more of that in GTA 6. And just other games in general would be nice to have that sort of mechanic in. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's GTA 4. And there's like a map in here I didn't even notice, like a guidebook. Like you can see the old PlayStation 3 controllers in there. Look, it's like a subway map. And then on the back side is like points of interest. It's really cool. I really like that. That is a really nice addition. Makes me want to go and play it again. That's Liberty City. Nice. And then GTA 5 is Los Santos, right? Liberty City and Los Santos. That's really cool. I'm debating selling off some of these games, but I might have to keep the map. You know? Alright, let's keep going. Because we've still got a few left. I might wait till we get to like the 30-minute mark and then kind of call it a little bit. See how far we get. The next one along is Madden 10. Oh yeah, Madden 10 NFL. So again, like a sports game. I'm not super interested in sports, but I've always been fascinated with American football, and I did play a little bit of this. Actually, I'm going to include the other one that I have here as well. Might as well just include them together, which is Madden 09. I don't really know what the difference is between these games. I mean, the same thing with FIFA. Like, okay, the graphics are like marginally better, but like, what do you actually change? Like, just increase the stats, the positions. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I've always been interested in American football. But the gameplay I found was just like so slow, like the actual game. So yeah, I didn't play it very much, and my dad absolutely loves American football, and he would try to explain to me how it works and what's going on, and I'm there like, I just want to play like literally anything else. So there you go, Madden 09, Madden 10, games that I also bought around about the same time as FIFA, because they were on sale, and then never played again. Played them once or so. Next up, we've got an interesting one. Interesting given that, I guess technically it was last year, right, that it came out. Avatar. So Ubisoft made basically Far Cry but Avatar recently. And here we have Avatar the game, which is kind of like loosely meant to be based on the movie. Now, this game has like nothing to do with the movie, because you don't play as the protagonist in the movie. You play as like your own character in and around the same time. I don't really remember if it changes the plot of the movie and like, oh, you're the reason, you're just not that protagonist. But it does have a really interesting mechanic, which is at the beginning of the game you to experience being an avatar, you get to experience being human, and there's a point in the game where you come to a threshold and it says, choose staying as an avatar or choose being a human. And depending on that choice, you go two different storylines. And at the end, you have the choice to I don't know if you're as an avatar, you can choose to betray the I've forgotten their names. The Na'vi, I think. You can choose to betray them. I don't know. But as a human, you can choose to betray the other humans and join the Na'vi. I think still as a human. But yeah, really, really interesting. The armors are pretty cool. Honestly, they look pretty good for the PlayStation 3. The fact it had this dividing campaign, really, really awesome. I love that. So I do really, really like this game. I used to put this game on. I'd completed it a few times on both sides. I always kind of preferred playing as the humans, if I'm honest, even though it was just basically a third-person shooter. Yeah, I love playing it, and then just like playing out a war, because yeah, it was just really fun. It was super, super fun. And like, as the little loser I am, I would like roleplay stories of like, oh, I'm being sent to this location to kind of deal with the Na'vi here, or vice versa. And this sounds like so colonialist, but the flamethrower is awesome, and you could just like burn everything down. I just really like the fact that it actually had fire mechanics that spread, and it was awesome. Yeah, so overall pretty cool. I just wish that you learned to fly a little bit earlier on as the Na'vi, but yeah, overall very, very fun. We're going to keep pushing on. So, next one up is an old favourite, of course. We've got to talk about Skyrim. So, the first time I played Skyrim was on PlayStation 3. Originally, I had debated getting it on PC at the time, but apparently, like, it had to be online all the time. And the internet on my PC, like, because I had an actual computer, not like a laptop. My internet on my PC came from a USB. Like, it had a USB router, like a signal, and the internet would come through that. And it just wasn't amazing. Ultimately, it probably wouldn't have mattered, but I'm glad that I got it on PlayStation 3 instead. I put so many hours in this, like 500 to 800 hours it must be. I don't even know off the top of my head. But my hours in Skyrim alone, more than any other game I've ever played for sure, it's got to be over 1,000 in total on every like console combined. Like from PlayStation 4. I haven't really played it on 5. And on PC as well. It's got to be. I mean, what can I really add to Skyrim? Like, visually it's incredible. The game itself is just so fun. It's fun fantasy, and play styles that you can just mash it up. Play it whatever you want, with magic, with swords, with an axe, with bows, whatever you want to do. Be stealthy, be an assassin, all the different like other storylines. Yeah, and again, super crazy that this came out in 2011, and it's been now, what, 13 years? We've not had another one, and Elder Scrolls has skipped a gaming generation. Crazy. Next on the list, we have Dead Island. So I have the box. I don't know where the disc is. The disc vanished over like 10 years ago. Probably over 10 years ago. Maybe about 12 or 13. I actually don't know when it came out. Either way, I had it, played it for a while. was younger, I had the habit of like not putting the discs back in properly to like the proper places, and yeah, so unfortunately it disappeared. No idea where that went. So I've got the case to prove that I had it, but no discs, so I can't play this on PlayStation 3. But quite honestly, that doesn't matter because there's a version of it on PlayStation Plus anyway. Yeah, so Dead Island, fun game, zombie game, basically like a first person shooter, like first person sort of like RPG-esque, open world, zombies all over the island, really fun. I feel like there's been some more recent ones, but I've never really kept up with the actual games themselves, and like, because I thought Riptide was a DLC, but apparently it's its own game, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know. But I did enjoy playing Dead Island, but I barely got very far in. Yeah, not very far in at all, but you can play it like multiplayer, which I think is really good. We've only got 2 games left, so we're gonna push through. The second to last is another kind of interesting one for me, because it is Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't really play COD games, really at all, ever. So it's always an interesting one when I put up COD. So I wanted to start getting into playing COD at the time, and ordered Call of Duty Ghosts. I remember picking it up for myself. Oh no, I didn't. I remember what I did. I remember I think I ordered it. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm pretty sure it was second hand, because look at the box. It's got holes in it. That's not broken. That's just the box. The back is ripped. There's like, you can put your fingers in there, but that's actually the box. It's like a fake box, really. Oh, I know why. I don't know why it's like this, but this is a Blu-ray disc. Oh, never mind. All of these are Blu-ray disc boxes, but either way, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, Call of Duty Ghosts. And you'll notice that this is like the back of like the stuff that's like the cover that's meant to go all the way around, but you can't do it in this, so it's just like been shoved in there. I don't even remember where I got this from, man. No idea. But either way, I played it and I enjoyed it. I do quite like Call of Duty, but I don't like playing it online. I just don't really fuck with FPS, like multiplayer, really, like competitive. The only time I enjoy that is something like Overwatch, which is different, isn't it, really, in the type of game that it is. But yeah, I enjoyed Ghosts. I think it was pretty fun. Isn't this the game with Ghost in it? Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think it is. With all the memes. But this was basically my first Call of Duty game, because I never really played any of the other ones. And then after that I played a few. But yeah, that was my only was the only like physical copy I owned of one. Finally, last but not least in this collection of games is Ghostbusters, the video game. Now, it wasn't by design that I left this till last, but I have got a funny story with this one. Oh, look, it's not in there. I actually know what the disc is. I think it's with a collection of like other random discs that don't have like cases anymore, which we've got somewhere in the house. So, Ghostbusters, the video game. This game is basically like you play as a character that joins the Ghostbusters team, original Ghostbusters team after the movies. And honestly, it's actually quite fun. I'd love to see like another proper Ghostbusters game like this. It is a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't really know how you would describe it, because it's not an RPG. It's not really a third-person shooter, but it kind of is. You can get a bit of an idea from the back. But you basically go through missions trying to get the ghosts, and you get kind of different types of attacks you get with your ghost busting weapon, and like signals to find ghosts and stuff. It's really cool. The cool story about this game is that I got this for Christmas, and I knew that I got this for Christmas because I managed to find where those Christmas presents were, because my parents always hid them in the same place every year, and so this is what I did. I went in, found the room where it was being hidden, went into the Christmas presents and saw the game. So I took the game and played it like weeks before Christmas. And when I was done with the session, I would put it back in with the Christmas presents, but I would do it like when they weren't at home or something like that. I don't really remember the full context, but I managed to get in. I didn't play the full game, but I played quite a lot of it, and then put it back, and I had to act surprised, like, oh my gosh. When I got it on Christmas Day, that's really funny. Like a really funny story about that. So there we have it. Look at all those. I could do that as the thumbnail, but I'm not going to. So, there are all the PlayStation 3 games that I have to talk about today. I do actually have about as many more, but I'm going to do that for another video because it's getting quite long and they're kind of hard to edit and upload if they're too long. So we're going to leave it here for today. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for joining in and listening to the video. If you enjoyed, drop a little like, and a subscribe would be very, very kind of you. If you enjoyed, obviously you want to see more, right? If you do want to see more, go check out the videos appearing on the side, and I will see you in whatever video comes next. Take care.